23rd, 2026. Tonight, open mic. Evolution is the dumbest and most dangerous religion in the world. Prove me wrong. Come on, call in. Defend your God, your evolution religion. Come on, bring it. We're on a bunch of channels. We're on Facebook and Rumble and X and our own app, TV, KentHovind.tv, and Instagram and TikTok. Is that about it, Joseph? That's plenty. Okay, plenty. So let's see, 23rd. The anniversary of our getting this property 10 years ago is coming up in April. We'd like to finish the arc by then. If you got any carpentry skills, painting skills, drywall skills, plumber, electrical, pretty much anything. I've learned everybody who claims there's a carpenter is not, Joseph. Did you know that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. But it's going to be cool. I was in Pensacola 27 years and now here for 10. Oh, God's been good. The Aaron Spencer trial, I understand, is postponed because he put in a motion to recuse the judge. And I don't know what happened. I don't know the details yet, but so hang on, don't go to Arkansas yet. He's the guy who killed a man who was abusing his 14-year-old daughter. You should get a medal, okay, and a raise, not a prison sentence. Okay, so anyway, we will not be going to Lone Oak this time. Okay, we are straight north of Pensacola, 70 miles, in Lenox, Alabama, right across the interstate from nothing. There's nothing over there. Okay. There's a whole bunch of nothing around here. I love it. You think the world's overcrowded? Come to Lenox. Yeah, okay. Want to get my attention? Come on, take the tour of the place. Come join the crew for a couple days here at Dinosaur Adventureland. You can help us stay open for free. We've been open for free for 10 years. We don't charge for cabins, food, nothing. Just come. Just help us work. Help us get the thing done. Just make a donation if you want. Okay, drdino.com. Got to change that again. Almost 10 years coming up in April. It'll be 10 years we've been here. Okay, let's see. Our video series is probably the best seller we have by far. If you haven't seen that, $50 for 18 hours teaching on science in the Bible. You can watch it, copy it, return it, get your money back. Can't beat a deal like that, I don't think. Okay, you can't go do that at Walmart or when you at the Kentucky Fried Chicken, can you? Buy it, eat it, and then return it. You don't want to return it when you're done with it. Okay. What a series on what on earth is about to happen, about the future. I very reluctantly had to change to be post-trib, pre-wrath. Okay, let's see, I've got, who was I going to whack tonight? I got him up here somewhere. No. Right here, okay. The reptile guy.
Back. I really did want to model a better way of interacting with people that disagree with you. And I was so happy to see that that is what came through. I think this world could use a little more understanding and a little less hostility. But not all of the responses were positive. I was surprised that in a video that devotes more than half an hour to addressing common misconceptions held by young Earth creationists, a video that made me the target of a Kent Hovind Whack an Atheist video less than a week after its release, that some of the most hostile responses came from atheists, who I assume are the usual recipients of Kent Hovind's whacks. And all...
Clint, my response was not hostile, it's right. You should listen to that guy.
All because of one sentence that I've already repeated in this video. But the truth is that I really loved these comments because they perfectly illustrated why I needed to tell you that. And I'll get to that in a moment, but right now, I think we better talk about the clip we just watched. There is a lot there. So this was Tucker Carlson in a
up to another comment he made at 15 minutes. You blow that up so I can see it. There we go. Right about here.
Detailed account of the creationist position in the last video when I laid out my steel man of young Earth creationism. I will say that the feedback I've received from creationists about that steel man has been very positive, and I haven't seen anything really disagreeing with what I said there. So if you want to hear it, please consider watching that video next. And Kent Hovind, if you want to make another reaction video, I would love your thoughts on what I said in that steel man. But that goes into more detail about what they...
For it, didn't he? Okay, Clint. There is no such thing as a geologic column. There is no such thing as a fossil record. No, there's fossils. There's trillions of fossils, but they don't talk and they don't have a date on them. There is no such thing as a fossil record. Your whole stupid religion is based on the dumb idea that the layers are different ages. And the fossils found in there mean something, but they're changing to something else because of the layer they're found in. Clint, it doesn't happen. It's imagination. I feel sorry for you guys that got duped into believing that when you went to school. Somebody lied to you. Let's see. I want to get up to one more thought here with this guy. I'll blow it up one more time there, Joseph. 26. Let me just let him talk from here. Okay, go get him, Clint.
Hold, but that aren't their actual positions. So if you're debating someone and you want to have any chance of actually persuading them that they're wrong, correctly articulating their position is basically an essential place to start. I would love it if more creationists would attempt this, but it's also essential.
I mean, I do completely understand your position. You believe all life forms came from a common ancestor, a single-celled creature, which came from a hot ball of soup from the rock that melted. I understand your position really well. I've studied it for a long time. I'll debate you anytime, Clint. Bring it on, okay?
To be open to the possibility that you don't have it right. That is, unless you just love straw man arguments. So let's get to his attempt. I do appreciate that he asks us to clarify it for him, so I really hope he sees this. He says that his definition of evolution, macroevolution specifically, is that he's never seen a dog produce a non-dog.
Would you agree that's true? We never see a dog produce a non-dog? Has anybody ever seen that? Anybody in history ever seen that? I think they'd record that, wouldn't they?
He then goes on to say that textbooks say that people evolved from primordial soup. It rained for millions of years on rocks, went down into the ocean and turned into fish, and those animals turned into animals that walked on land and they evolved into birds. He then asks for one piece of evidence of macroevolution.
First of all, did we all come from rocks? Let me get the other one I've got from Mr. Nelson. Look, can you blow that up any, brother? Is that? I think it's, that's it? Yeah. Mr. Nelson calls himself Aron Ra, the sun god. I think you'd have to be bright to be a sun. What happened here? Hit that play button up there, okay.
At no point ever were we rocks. No evolutionary biologist ever thought that we came from a rock. Why would you believe something so dumb as that evolutionary biologists think we came from rocks? Why do you keep repeating this lie? No.
Now, notice, when I try to talk in the background here, he will interrupt 500 times. I will debate him any day if somebody else controls the mic button where we shut him off when it's my turn to talk, shut me off when it's his turn to talk. He bullies people in debates by interrupting all the time, throwing out 20 things, trying to get you to lose your train of thought. I bet he's a Democrat. Let's see. So he said, nobody ever said we came from a rock. Didn't he just say that?
No matter how many times you've been corrected.
Well, I haven't been corrected. You think
you've been corrected right now.
Again, shut up, Aaron. Let me talk. Okay.
Now.
Okay, so
not
what,
by me.
okay, what evolutionary biologist in history has made that claim that we evolved from rocks?
He's made the claim we came from a rock. Okay, well, let's put this one to bed here, folks. Let's see. Got to come over here. The organic evolution, one of the 6 essential stages of evolution, and they don't like this. The fact that I break it up into 6 slices where you can study it makes them angry. Look at that little bundle of chemicals. Let's call him Cosmic Fluke. I bet he'd appreciate that. Apart from Kent and Matt Powell, I've never heard anyone else say we think we came from rocks. Creepy blind man and Forrest run. Okay, let's see. Here's National Pornographic. When Earth was formed about 4.5 billion years ago, it was a uniform ball of hot rock. Radioactive decay and leftover heat. Okay, let's see. Hot rock. Is National Geographic teaching we came from, or started off as a hot rock? I'm not misrepresenting them, am I? Okay. How about this one? Fact monster. As it formed, the sun's gravity pulled the dust and gas into lumps. I don't know how you pull a gas into a lump. That'd be cool. Which became the planets. At first, Earth was a ball of molten rock. Did I get that one right? Looks like it. Okay, let's see. How about when Earth first formed, scientists believe it was a hot ball of rock. Did I get it right, Clint and Aaron? Earth started off as a ball of hot, Earth started off as ball of hot, as a ball of hot molten rock. They need to learn some English, but okay. Well, let's see. National Pornographic again. Earth started off as a hot, viscous ball of rock. Viscous means it's able to smooth, like kind of like honey, you know, liquid but sticky, you know, slow moving. Okay, right there. National Geographic. Okay, let's see. Mars. Let's see. New research suggests when Earth was still a ball of molten rock. That's Universe Today. Let's see. How about this one? Have either of you two science lovers contacted any of these peer-reviewed journals, publications, to ask them to correct what they printed? Because they all said we came from a rock. I know you guys pick on me. Why don't you pick on them? They're the ones saying it. I'm just quoting them. Okay. Run, Forrest, run. Here you go. Joseph, I'm never going to make it to 500 debates if some of these guys don't come out of the woodwork. They keep running. Okay, let's see. Here we go. Biology textbook right here on the shelf. Earth is thought to have formed about 4.6 billion years ago. Let's see. Earth began as a hot ball of rock, and oceans formed as it rained on the rocks for millions of years. No evolutionist ever believed we came from a rock. Earth began as a hot ball of rock. Aaron, why don't you try to correct some of these textbooks then? Have you spent any time doing that? Origin of life from rocks. Let's see. Life's origin is closely linked to rocks and minerals. The idea that life may have emerged from non-living matter, such as rocks, is supported by a concept of abiogenesis, which posits that life arose from simple organic compounds. Let's see. 3.9 billion years ago, the Earth cooled enough for water vapor to condense, and Earth was, for the first time, experiencing violent rainstorms. The Earth eventually, the accumulated rainfall formed the oceans. It is in these oceans 3.5 billion years ago that scientists believe the first living organisms appeared. You owe your life to a rock. Aaron, science.org. Yeah, you better call them guys, okay? Thank goodness for granite. If not for the formation and subsequent erosion of large quantities of metal-rich granite on a supercontinent that formed billions of years ago, it's always out of, it's beyond study because it's long ago and far away. But it happened. You got to believe them, okay? The evolution of multicellular life, including us, could have been stifled or delayed. That'd be sad if it was delayed. They'd have to add more zeros to their number, wouldn't they? That'd be a waste of paper. They cut down trees to print this stuff, folks. All you tree huggers, get out there. Get out, hug these. Okay, let's see. Earth started off out as a ball of very, very hot liquid. Okay, let's see. Quote of the day, from molten ball to opera. This Earth now sings. Whoa. 4.5 billion years ago, the Earth was a flaming molten ball of rock, and now it can sing opera. I bet that guy got paid, or that Tara woman? Yeah. Okay. The light rocks are on the Earth's surface. As the space dust hit each other to make the Earth, it got super hot and melted. The Earth was, at that time, a spinning ball of red-hot lava flying through space. There you got it, folks. Let's see. How did our planet form? The Guardian. A few 100 million years, the temperature of Earth reached 2,000 degrees Celsius. The melting point of iron and Earth's core was formed. When Earth formed, scientists believe it was a hot ball of rock and metal. Different layers took shape over time. I see, okay. What did the early Earth look like? The University of Chicago. Aaron, call them up. It's in Illinois, in case you don't know, up there. Let's see. Where the present day Earth has oceans covering much of its surface, the early Earth was covered in magma, a layer of molten rock, hundreds of miles deep, that was melted by the energy released during the collision. Wow. Chicago University, yeah. peer-reviewed, accredited. Yeah. Let's see. Here, Wikipedia. Well, they got everything right, don't they? Earth formed 4.54 billion years ago. I see. Okay. Here's a sideline from Berkeley University, California. It's got to be true if it's from California. Let's see. Earth was so hot that these collisions that all the rock melted, and the Earth was a hot ball of melted rock orbiting the sun. Wow. That's Berkeley. Aaron, call him up. Okay. There it is again. Evolution, Berkeley. Okay. Earth's history had a direction. Buffon and later physicist Fourier both claimed that the Earth had begun as a hot ball of molten rock and had been cooling through time. There you go. Berkeley University. Okay. Laser heated lava balls give a glimpse into early Earth's atmosphere. Really? What do they say here? Once this thriving orb that is our home was an inhospitable ball of molten lava. Did I get it right there, Arn? Science alert. Whoa. You should always be alert because alerts live longer. Billions of years ago, the planetary blob that would become Earth started as a hot, viscous ball of rock. Wow. Water trapped inside minerals erupted with lava, a process called outgassing, and more lava was outgassed, the mantle solidified. National Geographic again. Yale University. Go Yale. Okay, let's see. Confessions of a former fireball, how Earth became habitable. New studies suggest the early Earth transformed itself with the help of some weird rocks. Both researchers at Yale and Caltech, wow, that early Earth transformed itself from a fiery carbon-clouded ball of rocks into a planet capable of sustaining life. The theory covers Earth's earliest years and involves weird rocks that interacted with seawater. I wonder if they scheduled a meeting or something. Anyway, to nudge biological matter into existence. I see, okay. As an added bonus, these weird rocks on early Earth would readily react with seawater to generate a large flux of hydrogen, which is widely believed to be essential for the creation of biomolecules. The lost city of hydrothermal vents is a prime location for investigating the origin of life on Earth. Let me translate that for you. Send more money so we can do some research. Right? No evolutionist ever believed we came from a rock. Oh, let's see. Downloaded a couple months ago. Planet Earth is older than the core. When Earth formed 4.5 billion years ago, it was a uniform ball of hot rock. Aaron, you need to get caught up on your research, okay? Let's see. Argonne National Laboratory. Let's see. A long time ago, our solar system was forming into planets. Earth was essentially a giant ball of molten lava. Here we go. Earth started off as a ball of liquid fire. Its newborn surface closer to a lava lamp than the calm continents we know today. Those incandescent beginnings happened 4.5 billion years ago, yet the evidence is buried miles beneath our feet. Okay. Downloaded a couple months ago from Fact Monster. At first, Earth was a ball of molten rock. How was Earth formed? Fact Monster. At first, Earth was a ball of molten rock. The surface rock slowly began to cool and harden 4 billion years ago. Yep, hot ball of rock. Let's see. SciTech Daily. How Earth went from molten hellscape to habitable. In the early days, it was a magma ocean, a sphere of molten rock, and nothing else. Wow. Here we go. Universe Today. How did Earth go from molten hellscape to habitable? Well, let's see. It was a sphere of molten rock and nothing else. Structure of the Earth. When Earth was formed, scientists believe it was a hot ball of rock and metal. Okay. Don't be embarrassed when you realize who your ancestors are. Be proud of them. Treat them with respect. Honor them. Put them on the shelf. Study them. Write books about them. Honor them. Don't hit them. Or don't hurt them in any way. These rocks are your ancestors, guys, okay? We don't know if their nervous system is already evolving to feel pain. But remember, they might remember when you hit them with a hammer and might come back and get you. So be careful, okay? Let's see. How can you drive on the highway or blacktop or concrete, either one? It's made out of billions of your ancestors. Show some respect. Millions of years of rains created the oceans. Swirling in the waters of the oceans was a bubbling broth of complex chemicals. Earth was a hot ball of rock. Yep, there it is. warm little pond. Let me play Aaron one more time, denying the obvious here. Right here. Come over to this one. So they're claiming that I'm lying when I say that they believe they came from a rock. Well, let's hear it right out of I was going to say the horse's mouth, more like a jackass, but let's see.
At no point ever were we rocks. No evolutionary biologist ever thought that we came from a rock. Why would you believe something so dumb as that evolutionary biologists think we came from rocks?
Oh,
Why
I
do
don't
you
believe.
keep repeating this lie no matter how many times you've been corrected?
Well, I haven't been corrected. You think
You've been corrected right
All
now,
right, so what,
just
what-
now,
okay, so
not
what,
by
okay.
me, not
okay,
just
what,
by
right.
me.
what evolutionary biologist in history has made that claim that we evolved from rocks? So I'm 48 years old, and I've never heard that except for creationists say it ever.
Okay, let's. I'm looking for the slides in the textbook now, but I have hundreds.
You heard it tonight, didn't you guys? You do believe you came from a rock. And that's okay that you believe that. I don't care. But don't call that science. And don't make me pay to put that in the textbooks for all the kids to learn. Go start a private school and teach. Call it Rock Institute. Yeah. Grandpa Rock is here to greet you at school today, boys and girls. You could have rocks all over your desk, all over everything. Which one is your grandpa, boys and girls? Pick one out. Yeah. Be proud of them. Okay, take a few questions here, Joseph. Brady, where were the giant skeletons? My kids are asking. I told them they're hiding them from us. Where you have the books on? Are they in here? Or are they in the Science Center? All the stack of books on giants. I think I've. Can you grab them for me? I don't see them. There are many, many books on this topic about giant skeletons. Now, keep in mind, many religions try to hide evidence that goes against their religion. Okay? Yeah. No, that's not the one on giants, is it? Okay. Hand some to me. Here we go. There. Giants on Record. If you want to get this book, it is, let's see, how many pages? Doesn't matter. 380 some pages. Giants on Record. Thank you, brother. Ancient Giants of the Americas. Do we sell any of these, Joy, in our bookstore? Okay, yeah. We probably should get them all, have a package and just be the go-to source. The Ancient Giants Who Ruled America from Richard Dewhurst, Dewhurst. The Missing Skeletons, The Great Smithsonian Cover-Up. They're hiding a lot of them, okay? And this has got 350 pages. Genesis chapter 6. Oh, Stephen Quayle did a great book on the giants that have been found. That's another, 400 and some pages. So, Giant Man Tracks, The Truth in Plain Sight, about giant tracks that have been found by Frederick Beierle. Must be a French name, Beer. But anyway, it's got pictures of the giant human tracks. We got some copies in our museum here. Come on down and see them. Valley of the Giants. Is that by Carl Baugh? Joe Taylor, maybe. Let's see. No, Cecil Daughtery. Yeah, okay. He was a chiropractor in Glen Rose, Texas area. This is, but there are many books written on the topic. The evolution theory says we started off like a chimpanzee and we're getting bigger, better, stronger, smarter. And the real evidence says exactly the opposite. So they have to hide all that evidence. The fact is, people were probably much bigger. Look at ancient castles, they have huge doorways, 18 feet tall. Why do you need an 18-foot doorway? I've installed many doors. I've built a lot of houses and stuff like that. I mean, I'm 6'2", and the doorways are normally 6'8". I don't have any problem going in. Why would you put an 18-foot doorway in your house? So this is just, there's lots of evidence. And Joy, get a list of all the books and figure out what it would cost to get a package deal. If it's like $200 to get them all, I think some people would want that just for their library. Okay. Thank you. All right. Other questions? Brian Gates from TT, whatever. What makes evolution dumb or dangerous? Well, it's dumb because it doesn't happen. There's no evidence for it at all. It's a religious belief. You have to believe animals can change to something else. That's just dumb. We never see that. It's dumb to believe life started from a rock. And I showed you clearly that is what they believe. and that the first living thing, single-celled organism, somehow became a whale and everything else. These charts that they have us teach the kids in school, look, everything is related. Yes, boys and girls, the humans are related to the frogs and the sunflowers, and everything goes back to a common ancestor. All this is artwork. It's lines on paper. It is not science. It's dumb to believe these charts. You'd have to go to college for years to be stupid enough to believe that. Okay? Tell them I said so. I'll debate anybody on this topic. So it's dumb. No evolution idea that we have a common ancestor with a potato is dumb. Now, the reason it's dangerous, it teaches kids they're just an animal. And guess what? They're going to act like animals. Watch my video number 5, where I talk about the dangers of evolution. It was that philosophy that led the Japanese to believe, because evolution, Darwin's books, Japanese fell for it, hook, line, and sinker. And they said, wow, we got some neighbors, the Chinese and the Koreans, they're inferior. Let's kill them all. They killed 17 million Chinese in World War II. Hitler only killed 6 million Jews. You won't understand the motive behind World War II until you understand the evolution theory. It's the motivating factor. So I cover that in video number 5 of my series. So it's dangerous. I ask atheists a question all the time. They never answer it. If evolution is true, how do you tell right from wrong? Simple. How do you tell right from wrong? Make a list of things that are wrong and tell me why it's on your list if you believe in evolution. Is it wrong to go next door and kill your neighbor's baby and eat it? Well, the lion does it to the zebra all the time. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, it's dangerous. Now, if you don't believe that, you can go to chart your own channel. Okay. Jimmy from TikTok. Who do you believe built the pyramids? Well, I think the Great Pyramid, the big one, was probably built by godly people before the flood. I think what would a flood do to a pyramid? Get it wet, you know? It's not. There were 144,000 smooth polished casing stones. The chief cornerstone was rejected by the builders. There's only one entrance in, and it immediately got to make a choice to the broad way to the pit or the narrow way to the king's chamber. When you get to the king's chamber, nothing there but an empty tomb. I think there's a lot of spiritual application in the Great Pyramid. The rest of them are obvious Egyptian, copies. The king said, I want to get buried in one of those, but I can't afford to build one that big, so build it smaller. But all the rest of them have hieroglyphics all over. This is the greatest king that ever lived, and all his great exploits. But Great Pyramid has none of that. So I think testimony to the Lord. If it turns out not to be true, I won't hurt my feelings at all. You asked my opinion, that's what I told you. Bill, I can't find a relationship with God. I'm lost. I've tried everything. Well, first you got to get born into the family to be a relationship. Read John chapter 1. If you receive him, you become a child of God. In John chapter 3, Jesus said, I'm sorry, you have to be born again. If I take this acorn and lay it on the desk here, nothing will happen. But if I take it out and stick it in the dirt, now the magic takes place, and this thing knows how to make an entire tree. This little nut knows how to make roots and bark and xylem and phloem and leaves and more nuts. This one little nut could build this thing could cover the world in a few thousand years with acorns, oak trees, just this nut. But the dirt has to let it come in. If the dirt won't let it in, it's not going to work. And you have to let Jesus come into your life to start the process. That's how you get born again. When the woman's egg receives the sperm, now the life begins, and it's murder after that, by the way. So to have a relationship with God, first you have to get born and become his child. Now, I need to warn you, if you become one of God's children, he spanks his kids. He doesn't spank the neighbor kids yet. He will Judgment Day. But for now, you ask the Lord, Lord, I'm a sinner. Would you please come in my heart and save me? Bingo, you're in the family. I believe salvation is real simple, okay? Then he starts to grow inside of you. But you water that tree by reading the word, going to church, listening to good sermons, and hanging out with Christians instead of heathen. Get a new set of friends. So call me anytime, 855-BIG-DINO, extension 3. I'll be glad to talk with you about all that. Okay? Thank you, Bill. Why did Adam and Eve have no children when they lived in the Garden of Eden? Good question. We don't know. The Bible says part of the curse when they sinned was, he said to Eve, I'm going to greatly multiply thy conception. What does that mean? I think this is just pure theory. I couldn't prove it to anybody. I think when God designed Adam and Eve, they were designed to live forever. And so the woman probably only had her cycle once every 100 years. I think most women would appreciate that. And most men would too. Okay. So, and so when you greatly multiplied the conception, that's when it went to once every 28 days. So now, so I think it probably was not possible. They could only get pregnant a few days out of the year when the egg goes through the fallopian tube and all that stuff. What? A few days a month. I mean, okay. I taught biology. I understand it pretty well. Okay. So I think that's my theory on that. I think it would probably, everything's fine. They're getting along real good. Matter of fact, real good. And then after they sinned, God altered things. So Adam had to work, the snake had to crawl on his belly, and the woman now could conceive once a month. Okay. Big sky. I've just been trying to understand what heaven actually will be like in the process in something. Is there more to it?
No, that was it.
Okay. Me too. I think the Apostle Paul went to heaven. He was stoned to death or rocked to sleep outside the city of Lystra, and he actually saw it. God came, made him go back down. He said he saw things it's not lawful for a man to utter. I don't think it's possible for a human on earth to understand what God is preparing for us. He built all this in 6 days. He told the disciples, I'm going to prepare a place for you, and I'll come again. He's been working on that for 2,000 years now. That must be quite a castle. If he can make all this in 6 days, yeah, I can't wait to see what he's got up there. Okay, so I'm walking by faith. I believe him. I trust him. I'll be happy with whatever he gives me. Why did God have to mark Abel to protect him if there wasn't any more people? Well, we don't know that there weren't any more people. By the time Cain killed Abel, how many more children could Adam and Eve have had? How old was Cain when he killed Abel? It'd be wild guess, 20 years old. And then it says Adam, after they left the Garden of Eden, he had Seth, and it says Adam lived 800 years. Get the chart here. Adam lived after he begat Seth 800 years and begat sons and daughters. I've often said, how many kids could you have in 800 years? A lot, okay? So they were worried about brothers and sisters, and then pretty soon you got your brothers and sisters are having kids. I mean, Adam lived long enough to know his, let's see, great grandson. Noah's daddy could have known Adam. So the population grew rapidly. Suppose, I'm just guessing here, suppose each family had 100 kids per family. What's 100 times 100 times 100? 3 generations. A bunch. Whole bunch. Let's see. Luke tells them everything about revealed. Do you think this will be included in our sins? Do you think at judgment, all our sins will be exposed for the world? If you're not saved, yes. But if you're saved, the blood of Jesus Christ cleanseth us from all sins. He took that book he had written on me with all the stuff I've ever done and said and thought and cleaned it with the blood of Christ. Yay. Okay. Ancient astronaut theory. Not sure what you mean by that. Ancient cultures around the world. I think the ancient cultures around the world are just Adam and Eve's descendants. I mean, these people, if you look, get my chart again here. Before the flood came and everything was destroyed, these people are living to be 900 years old. What were they doing? Probably building stuff like people do today. Okay. Only if you've got perfect weather, you don't need to build stuff to protect you from the weather like a house. You need to build cool monuments and stuff to make people think how smart you are or something. I don't know. We'll see. So I think they were much larger people too, and living much longer and much smarter. Way up there compared to the IQs were phenomenal back then. What Christian book do you recommend outside of the Bible? There are thousands of them. Come see my library. I've got 4,000 books in here. That's the best estimate.
What was the book about the missionary and the child? Peace Child?
Oh, Peace Child. Peace Child and Eternity in Their Hearts are 2 books written by Don Richardson, a missionary. Peace Child, read that one. Fabulous story about the natives he went to, the tribe he went to, and how they already had a legend of how to get right with God. Nobody has never seen a white man. Just peace out. And then that led him to study more cultures, and he wrote Eternity in Their Hearts. I'd recommend both of those. Read good stuff. There's lots of good stuff out there. Pick some, it depends if you want to study on creation. If you want just to study Bible, Matthew Henry commentary from the late 1700s is fabulous, or early 1700s. Henry Morris at the Institute for Creation Research and Dwayne Gish wrote extensively. The Long War Against God. We sell that one, don't we?
Yes.
That's what, 1,000 pages? Something like that. It's excellent, excellent book by Henry Morris. Those are the ones that got me going. As I read all the books by Henry Morris and Dwayne Gish as a young Christian, I said, wow, this is great stuff. But they use all the $20 words. We need somebody to dumb this down for the 4th and 5th graders. So my ministry is to take the stuff that they said and translate it to kid for you, okay? Yeah, Henry Morris Discover Bible, excellent, okay? All right.
I have this question right
You believe in 13-month year? We could divide the year up any way we want. I mean, the month is purely arbitrary. The days are pretty well set by the sun, you know, one spin of the earth. The year is pretty well set by the sun because we go around and one day is the longest day of the year. But the month, you could have 100 months per year if you want. I don't know who did the 12 months. What's your favorite book of the Bible? Oh, the Second Opinions. There's a lot of good stuff in Second Opinions. That's not a book in the Bible. It changes with me, okay? Some days it's Genesis. I love reading Genesis. I led a guy to the Lord a couple nights ago on the phone. I said, look, start with the Gospel of John. Just read the book of John. And then maybe go to the book of Acts right after that to tell what the disciples did, which is short for their actions, okay? But get a foundation in the Bible. I don't think any of it, it'd be a little boring to read Leviticus and, you know, as a new Christian, like, what's all these laws about? Forget it for now. Skip it. Okay?
I think it's got challenging numbers.
If people live 900 and the earth is only 6,000 years old, yeah, is there a problem there? 900 is less than 6,000, isn't it?
It is.
Okay.
Do you believe the earth is round or flat?
Absolutely. Well, not perfectly round. It's egg-shaped a little bit. It's bulging at the equator. So am I, just a little bit. But that's because it spins, okay? Centrifugal force. I forget the difference between the polar diameter and equatorial diameter. I used to know all those numbers when I taught earth science, but I'm going to wildly guess it, maybe 20 miles bulge, okay? But it's a ball, big ball, spinning ball. Okay, that's it. Yay. Okay, see you Sunday morning. We're going to be talking about a guy named Ahab. You'll learn a lot from this guy of how not to do it. How many of you learned something what not to do by watching somebody else? Yeah. If you got to make all the mistakes yourself, you're not going to live long enough to do it. Just watch idiots on forklifts, idiots with chainsaws, idiots on bicycles. You can learn a lot and save yourself some scars. Okay. See you Sunday morning. Bye.